Hello and welcome to the Irish Aesthete. Today I want to tell you the story of an imperial visit to this country made 140 years ago. And no, it wasn't by Queen Victoria, even though some years earlier she had assumed the title Empress of India. On this occasion, our visitor here was the beautiful and unhappy Elizabeth, Empress of Austria, popularly known then and since as Sisi. In 1854, at the age of 16, Elizabeth had been married to the Emperor Franz Joseph of Austria, but the union was never a success, as she always felt stifled by the formality of court protocol. So she often escaped to other countries, travelling incognito and using pseudonyms like the Countess of Hohenheim, although of course everyone knew who she really was. Like Diana, Princess of Wales 100 years later, Elizabeth was obsessed with exercise and weight. Her waist never averaged more than 18 inches, and she frequently starved herself to not go over 110 pounds. From childhood, Elizabeth had loved riding and was a keen horsewoman, and it was for this reason that she first came to Ireland in 1879, specifically during the hunting season, in order to hunt with the Meath, one of the country's best-known hunts. Throughout her 6-week stay here, she followed the hounds almost daily, both with the Meath and the Ward Union and the Kildare. Her own animals proving unsuitable for the Irish terrain, Elizabeth had to borrow or buy horses locally, although the master of the Meath hunt, Captain Robert Fowler of Rainston, was heard to expostulate, "I'm not giving any damn Empress my daughter's horse." Nevertheless, before her departure, Elizabeth presented a riding crop to Fowler. It was sold at auction 10 years ago for €28,000. The Empress's presence in Ireland caused something of a sensation. She was beautiful, she was charming, and she was Roman Catholic. In other words, she shared the same faith as the majority of our population. As if to emphasise this point, in 1880 she presented a set of liturgical vestments to the country's principal seminary at Maynooth, County Kildare. Made from cloth of gold with borders of green silk embroidery, the cross on the chasuble is ornamented with hand-embroidered green silk shamrocks. At the base are 3 embossed shields bearing the arms of Austria, Bavaria and Hungary, and surmounted by the Austrian imperial crown. These robes were intended for use in the chapel at Maynooth College, where they remain to the present day. Throughout her time in Ireland, the Empress was accompanied by a man widely believed to have been her lover, the most proficient horseman of his generation, Captain William Bay Middleton. He was already familiar with Ireland, having spent several years in this country as equerry to the 5th Earl Spencer during the latter's time here as Lord Lieutenant. Whether or not the Empress and Bay Middleton were lovers, it is now generally agreed that he was the father of Clementine Hosier, who would later marry Winston Churchill. Her mother is known to have had an affair with Middleton at the time of the child's conception. Now, as I've mentioned, the Empress Elizabeth hated formality, and this is clearly one of the reasons why she enjoyed coming to stay in Ireland. But the visits ended in 1880, not least because Queen Victoria was not amused. Elizabeth was far more popular in this country than was Victoria, Ireland's official ruler, and the Empress was here in an unofficial capacity. Therefore, in order to avoid any chance of a diplomatic incident, she was advised not to return to Ireland ever again. As many of you will know, her life thereafter became steadily more tragic. Still largely estranged from her husband Franz Joseph, in 1889 she was told her only son, heir to the Austrian imperial throne, Crown Prince Rudolph, had killed his lover and then committed suicide in a hunting lodge at Mireling. Elizabeth never recovered from this event and spent even more time restlessly wandering from one country to another until September 1898, when passing incognito through Geneva. while on her way to board a boat across the lake, she was stabbed by an Italian anarchist called Luigi Lucchini, and she died shortly afterwards. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, it's because on both occasions that the Empress came to Ireland, she stayed in the same house here. Located in County Meath, it was called Summerhill and was one of the greatest architectural gems of the first half of the 18th century. And in the next episode, I'll tell you a little bit more about the building and show you what it looked like. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for watching the Irish Aesthete. Goodbye.